Okay, so let's preview the third round of this year's Six Nations, which is happening next weekend. We've got two matches on the 22nd of February and one match on the 3rd of February. The first match of the weekend is Wales-Ireland at 2:15 UK time. Ireland are heavy favourites going into this after a very solid win over Scotland. Wales, they're very vulnerable to, they're really in a bad place. I don't think the timing of Warren Gatland's departure has helped. I think while Matt Sherritt is now in, and will be working with the players, I have no doubt, this week and next week. The nature of Warren Gatland's departure, I think, could have been dealt with better. This is a young Welsh side. I've covered the Wales situation when they hit 12 Test defeats in a row, and obviously they've now lost further two, so they're coming off the back of 14 straight defeats. This is their first home game in the tournament. I expect them to keep the roof closed in Cardiff at the Principality. I'm expecting a good crowd as well. There always is for Wales-Ireland games. And there is the potential for an upset. There always is. A new coach coming in. You could get that new coach bounce. A bit more, a different voice in the dressing room. A different style of play, potentially. It is a very young, inexperienced Welsh team against a very well-drilled, well-oiled Ireland machine. And, Ireland handled Scotland easily last week. While Easterby is interim coach, while Andy Farrell's busy with the Lions, they've got systems in place. They've got structures in place. They have a production line of talent. And their record in recent years is quite terrifying if you're the opposition. But Wales have proven before at home in Cardiff against Ireland they can upset the Irish. There's great history with this fixture. But Ireland are heavy favourites. I would say they're going to win by at least 20. Going on the form, maybe more. I do have concerns about this Welsh side coming off the back of 14 straight defeats, a change of coach. It could work in their favour, changing the coach, even though Matt Sherritt is in on an interim basis. He may install some new confidence, some new belief in these young players, but I still have my concerns that they could be on the end of a really heavy defeat. But if they, go into this with no fear, and make the game scrappy, make the game stop-start, get under the Irish skin a little bit, fluster them a little bit. They have an opportunity, a slim one, to potentially upset the favourites for the Six Nations. Ireland, though, if they play their game plan and are allowed to play their style of play, where they defensively they choke the opposition with kick pressure and keeping the opposition in their 22 and making it difficult to exit. And Wales have had issues with their kicking game. Ireland could just turn the screw. If Ireland are disrupted in any way, as in having a scrappy game, it's harder for them to turn the screw. But Ireland are heavy favourites for this. It could go one or two ways. It could be a close, scrappy game, which will suit Wales with where they're at right now, or Ireland will just gain dominance early, gain dominance at ruck, maul, scrum, line out, set plays, and in open play. If Ireland are allowed to gain dominance in the first 20 minutes, this could be a very long day for Wales. But I'm expecting a scoreline of about 20 to 25 points in the favour of Ireland over Wales on the form guide. But as I say, anything can happen. We have seen some amazing shocks in this tournament in the years past, and Ireland are the only unbeaten side. So if they, there's an opportunity for Wales to, cause an upset and surprise the Irish maybe a little bit. But if Ireland, get off on the front foot, first 15, 20 minutes, if they've got dominance at that point, I think it's going to be hard for Wales to stay in the game. If Wales can stay in the game, let's say on 60, 65 minutes, and they're still in the game, they'll have a decent chance. But as we've seen against Italy, and they were heavily down by half time, and they just didn't have enough to come back and they scored some points in the second half. They left themselves too much to do, and Italy were better in the conditions. The second game at 4:45 is England-Scotland at Twickenham, or the Allianz Arena, but we'll call it Twickenham because the RFU are not reading the room in regards of renaming Twickenham and listening to fan feedback, because fans, what are they? They're customers. Against Scotland. Now, England win at the last gasp against France. That'd be a confidence-boosting win. They won under pressure at home last weekend, which I think will massively boost the confidence of this England side that is in transition. It's eased the pressure somewhat on Steve Borthwick, beating the French, who were heavily favoured going into that game. Scotland will be hurting after the defeat against Ireland last weekend. They will be hurting. I will expect a big response from Scotland. The Calcutta Cup in recent years has become very tasty and very, very interesting. do not underestimate this Scottish side. This is the one problem with Scotland, though. They're still inconsistent. While they're a much better side now than before Gregor Townsend took over, they still have that inconsistency in their game. But they're always motivated for this clash. And England in recent years in the Calcutta Cup have had their struggles, including last year where they were beaten. I think Scotland will actually go into this as favourites, even though they've come off that defeat. I will expect a response from Scotland. Their running game, running with the ball and width they put on the ball will be dangerous. They've got a lot of powerful outside and quick outside backs. They're going to target England at the breakdown, in the scrum, in the line-out. England's penalty count is a massive concern. It has been for many years. That is an Achilles heel for England, is discipline. And if Scotland can, gain, I wouldn't say gain favour, but if England is starting to give away a lot of penalties early, that's going to put a little inkling in the referee's mind that this England side are ill-disciplined. If Scotland can keep their discipline and England keep giving away penalties, potential yellow cards in there, these 20-minute reds that we've got experimented in this tournament, as long as Scotland keep their discipline, I think they can win this game. But it'll be a fun encounter. I think it'll be a close game. I mean, we could see a 2019 repeat all over again, that fantastic 38-point draw each way, which we saw, which was one of the most ridiculous games I've ever seen for a rugby union test match. England blowing out, what was it, a 31-point lead. Scotland getting back into the game, Scotland taking the lead, and then England tying it at the death. I've never seen such a ridiculous game in all my years. That was a real fun game to watch. It's like neither side wanted to win that game. We could see a game like that. We could see England would want to keep it tight. They proved against France under pressure right at the death that they can pull the rabbit out the hat. But as I say, discipline's going to be key for England. Scotland, as long as they can win their own ball off line out and scrum and keep their discipline and keep their structure and also get the ball wide and stretch the play, England will have possibly some issues. As I say, England side in transition, we're not sure what England are going to dish up, but I think this is going to be a very close game, and I think the scoreline will be within 7 at full time. I honestly believe it will be within a bonus point either way, a losing bonus point either way. Going to be fun, that one. Italy play France in Rome on the Sunday the 23rd, 3 p.m. kickoff UK time, 4 p.m. kickoff on the continent. France are going to be hurt by that last-minute defeat to England. Italy are going to be full of confidence. They narrowly lost to Scotland. They obviously easily dominated Wales. This is a team on the up. That France side, as I say, will be disappointed with that result away at Twickenham, a game they should have won. And so it's going to be interesting. Italy have upset France before, and Italy at home are not the pushovers they were in years past. They've massively improved. They've got some very exciting outside backs. They've got a very mobile pack. And they've got a similar style to France, if you actually think of it. They play a real high-energy blitz defence. They will tackle all day. They will make the hits all day. But they've also now got the outside backs to strike out wide. They've got pace out wide. France, they've got Dupont back in the side. I mean, he's the world's best player. He goes away for a year, plays sevens, wins an Olympic gold, comes back into the side, and I think France are better with him than without him. Let's just say that. You could definitely see his absence last year was really impacting the French team. They weren't as good without him. But I think I would expect a response from the French. But occasionally France can be like this. They can be inconsistent like Scotland, for example. They can be brilliant one week and then all over the place the next. I just hope this French side still play with flair, expression, expansion, and up front it's going to be a battle in the scrum. And last year obviously was that famous draw that Italy, they missed the kick in Paris right at the death. So this will actually be a close game. This will not be an easy encounter for either side. Italy are a fun side to watch. You know you're going to get running attack with them. And France can also throw the ball around. So this could be a real fun, entertaining game for the neutral on the Sunday next week. Again, I think it's going to be a close game. I think this game's too close to call with how recent head-to-head. England-Scotland, I think, is potentially too close to call. I think the only game which is you can definitely see a heavily favoured side for me is Ireland against Wales. But we've got 3 very interesting fixtures this next weekend in round 3. And we could have 3 very fun games. And honestly, we could see 3 away wins, we could see 3 home wins. I mean, the Six Nations keeps throwing up these real interesting storylines. And Italy last year should have beaten France. They narrowly. It was a frustrating draw for the Italians, but that gave them a lot of confidence towards the tail end of the Six Nations. France, as I say, are a wounded beast from last weekend, and that will have hurt them. So expect a response from France. This could. The penalty count's going to be interesting with Italy and France. Whatever team can keep the better discipline, I think will win. If one side has a skyrocketing penalty count early on in the first 20-25 minutes, yeah, we could definitely see the other side take advantage of that. And we've seen reds and yellows in the Italy-France fixture before, and the penalty count is going to be crucial. Discipline is vital for whoever comes out on top. So there we go. There's a little preview of the Six Nations round 3, which is next weekend. What do you think the results are going to be? Give us your score predictions. I don't ever give predictions personally. I can see Ireland winning heavily. Scotland, England, I can see being close, and Italy, France, I can see being close. And I think the Italians will be motivated seeing that this French side has a few weaknesses in it and have been a little bit vulnerable. So, fun weekend coming up next week. So from me for now, thank you very much for watching. If you want to put your score predictions, put them in the comment section below. But from me for now, that is all from me. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll have some more content for you all very, very soon.